if you're following our New Mexico BDR adventure, we're on day 3, part 1. And this is supposedly a 7-day ride that we rode. And we had started out by taking our bikes down on the back of pickup trucks, hauling them into Sante Fe, New Mexico, and leaving them at the Best Western hotel there. And then we rode down to Ruidoso to start the second leg of the New Mexico BDR. Today we're going from Truth or Consequences to Glenwood. We couldn't find a hotel room in the reserve, so we had to modify the route a little bit. So we're starting at the Charles Inn at Truth or Consequences. We're going to stop this video segment at Winston, New Mexico, where we get gas. This shows the red line is the route that we're going to take today. And I hope you stick around and enjoy it. This will be at least 3 parts today. So we get out generally in the morning around 7 o'clock, and the first part we're going to go find some breakfast because there wasn't anything close by around, and we do know that a McDonald's restaurant is on the way. So we'll just drive through town, and I'll be cutting out a bunch of straight sections, most of the asphalt. I'll show you where the corners are and other maybe little interesting features, generally in order to keep this part of the day not too long for you to have to live through. The exciting part of this day is going to be Carbide Canyon, which will be in part 2, and then later on when we leave Snow Lake, we'll be heading over to where we're going to spend the night. That was a really nice ride and isn't part of the normal New Mexico BDR, but I think you guys might want to consider that if you can't get a room in reserve. Up the back road out of Truth or Consequences that goes by where the BDR tells you where there's camping, and it takes you away from I-25 and all the other high-speed nonsense. Most of this section is all pavement until we cross I-25, and we'll pick up our first dirt. We'll be turning left here at this intersection, which heads towards I-25. looks like Deacon's having a little impatience with his goggles. Wants to get the free air going by his eyes. And this is why I've got the Dotori bearing on the front, so that he can hide behind and I don't fight him to keep the goggles on. So it works out really well, and I don't worry about him anymore because he really knows how to tuck in and keep us from getting the bugs, little pebbles, and rain from hitting his nose.
Are we in the right spot? I don't think so. Are we supposed to?
Alright, so I've got my directions, GPX files on my phone. So sometimes there's confusion with the little lines. I'm still getting used to it. We do go right. I guess if you went to chloride, you'd go left on the pavement. But we've got a dirt section they want to put us on, which is the whole point of having adventure bikes, right? We want to get some dirt under our tires. Problem with having Rich in front is Deacon wants me to catch him. I don't know if he wants to eat him or he thinks he's prey, but he normally does this with everybody who's in front until we pass him.
Oh, I see the clever one.
So we're not too far along this pavement section. We do pick up another gravel road that's going to take us out toward Winston. It will intersect another paved road.
Okay. there.
Rich and I take turns buying gas. It just makes it easier when you're only getting a gallon in each bike, and I think they actually have a higher octane at this pump. 690 could care less. So I want you to notice where I've got my water bottles. I got rid of the rear top bag so I could swing my leg over when my kickstand is in sand or mud. And unfortunately, I keep whacking my leg on the water bottles. If I say I've got 3 of them there on the right hand side, and this is what happens. So as we went through the trip, this bruise kept growing and growing in size, and finally I ended up having to stand on the left peg again. Rich and I were really looking forward to going up Carbon Canyons, a little bit more rougher off-road, and it's supposed to have like 32 creek crossings with water, but it was dry, so we didn't really get to see any, but it was exciting in other ways.